flash him in so he can face check long. Doesn't end up doing it, but Almanac will take up a position anyway. Now they're going to burst onto the site. Oh, it's a great flash on the player that falls behind Dicebox. That is Kusta that gets pushed away from this one, and he's going to be the first to die. Cutler trying to chase this player, takes him a while though, so now he's going to be overwhelmed. And it's a quick trade from Sick as now Misfits get control over the A-bomb site.
12 HP though for Sick, even though they have the bomb down. It's a tough position to be in. They have armor on Devaduvek, who's picked up the WP. You'd almost want to see that switch with Shazam, who's glass cannon as a result of it, and the rifle can be more aggressive. FNS flashed out, tries to peek, and spots Sean. Good find. He takes out Sean. Sick had fallen immediately beforehand, but Sean was able to get Rick in, which gives them still a chance. Shazam walks back in. Never mind glass cannon. He's got the M4 in a perfect position to catch the defuse, and 9 rounds for Misfits.
Sneaks right back in, and CLG have no idea that he works his way back in from long there, and as well goes for the player that would have stopped him from killing the diffuser first. So takes a bit of a gamble on knowing where the position of that diffuser was, but he had the right idea and instantly gets that second kill to secure the round for his team, and as well put them up to at least 9 here. So they do end up upsetting on that half buy there, which means CLG don't get necessarily the 9-6 secure. Now, could potentially end up 10-5 for Misfits, which would be a very good scoreline, but it'll be full buys for both teams at the end of it, and CLG even gets the upgrade to a double off setup. So things will be neck and neck here. Misfits will have to deal with that little bit of a twist of having Ricky picking up the other op.
Almanac grab the bomb and station backing away through the short pipe back in front monster. They've got the anchor of Sick to play the sound cues, so they can rotate off, which is exactly what they're going to do, and start to push out and pressure A instead. Find information where it's available. In fact, if information that Cutler's close-up would be served well, but unfortunately not received in time, as such Shazam goes down, but a good trade. Sick does wait patiently. Ethan to get the shot back, but now he's considering the fact that if he was there, he being Sick, who else is still outside of Monster? And unfortunately for Misfits, no one is, so they won't catch him in transition. It remains the 1-man advantage for CLG as a result. 50 seconds, however, for both Almanac and Devaduvek to work together, and I imagine the communication has switched over to Parler en Français.
A slow crawl again from them inside of Monster here, but CLG has pulled back the reins a bit. They don't necessarily have a very large presence in the B-bomb site. In fact, I think it's only one player here defending it, and he's back in CT. That'll be Ethan. More so waiting for them to peek and go for the pit control more than anything else. Oh, they're going to go right into his crosshair, though, if they keep going on this path. They go up, however. Oh, Devaduvek will spot him, but it's not enough to win the battle. Now he can sit back, play patiently. Almanac going to end up panicking a little bit here. Goes for the plan, or at least fakes it. He's going to try to get his opponent to push forward. He already missed the Q on it, though.
No time.
And yep, 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Runs out of it. Oh, he does get the op shot.
He needs to die right now is the problem. 3 seconds, he has to die. You're right, it is 15th round. I'm sorry. Never mind, he does not have to die. I was going to say he needed to die if it was the previous round, but it's not. Thank you, Blue.
It's all good.
I'm going to be over here. Just forget that I'm here. It's not a big deal. Shh. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. See, it's theory crafting. Anders would have approved.
Yeah.
Did do his best to bait them out, but unfortunately 10 seconds. I think he needed to stick the plant behind the smoke. I think he was planning on it as well, but he was spotted when they walked out of jungle.
Unfortunately, was not able to accomplish that and try to win out the 1v3 there. Did get the 1 kill, but just not anywhere close to enough to be able to end up coming out on top of it. Misfits will still hold the lead, however, in 9-6, but a pistol round loss will put them behind here if they're not careful. CLG will look to take control early here, including a pretty heavy buy. We have a deagle buy on the pistol round too, which you don't see that too often. Ricky is going to be picking that up. We'll see if he can hit any nice headshots to start off the half.
Would have been nice if he died, though. Just for the sake of it, you know.
Would have entertained you.
Yeah, exactly. Would have been a noble death. Fall on the surface.
Go out with glory.
Yeah.
Speaking of glory, there's going to be an arena fight for control over the steps right here, and it's going to be CLG that come out on top of it. Cutler picking up at least 1 kill, but Kusta doing most of the heavy lifting there. He gets a double.
Going to split this position as well, though, between the two CTs, and it's fast flank potential for Sick. Devaduvek doesn't have armor, so he has to play angles of headshot potential. Kit goes down, at least in the site that has the bomb planted, but it's Misfits that are in trouble and could easily find themselves at 9-9 if they're not quick to pull this back, and Sick's the one tasked with doing so. He'll swing out, find Cutler, but can't find the shot. Cutler ducks underneath, knows the headshot wasn't applicable immediately, and our camera was equally as amused by the fact that they get the round on the, the CLG side.
So 7th one put up on the board from CLG, and with that, they're well on their way to tying this game back up now at 9-9. It's no longer the dominant 8-2 or 8-1 scoreline that we had for Misfits at one point previously in the first half. Now it's neck and neck once again here, and Misfits will be fighting from behind to start off their CT side. Usual second round forced investment for everybody except for Shazam as they go for Deagles, CZs, and the whole lot of purchases to try and upset here. And we'll just have to wait and see if that's going to be possible. Aggressive movement from them, however, on multiple parts of the map. We have them pushing down steps, looking for early kills. They're also going to be close up towards construction there, expecting for CLG to go for a straightforward B play, and they might be somewhat right about that. Even have the boost up from Amanek and Sean here too, trying to see if anyone goes back through that side tunnel.
Ethan will still be up close to be able to get the noise cues, but Six being rather quiet about his position. A triple stack to the stairwell, and FNS gets one, and then Ethan will walk out the door. I don't think they realized Shazam was still in the corner, but they get him down nonetheless. Devaduvek tagged to 4. Sick. Doesn't matter where he goes, he's going to be surrounded. As Ricky gets the kill. It's within 1. That was expected.
Yep, so CLG secure that number 8, and we go onto the full save here for Misfits. So, again, not really expecting anything amazing from them here. Should be CLG getting the tie point in just a little bit here to tie us up at 9-9. And that's in the first gun round where anything can happen at that point, but CLG definitely had the momentum swinging into their favor here now. Surprised we didn't see a pause at some point towards the end of that first half either, or even now before we get into the gun round or something like that. Misfits have been utilizing their pauses quite well prior to this, but in this series seem to have the game plan settled confidently enough, but still things are not necessarily working out too great for them, so might want to consider that soon.
Devaduvek with just the pistols, going to play between both short and monster. Check over for Ethan does reveal Shazam is up close as he was jumping as well to try and spot toward the sandbags. And a rotate back around on top of the site. Back down. I mean, still grab the P250 for the body. Dev falling at Monster, and Shazam wants to redress the angle, but it's a good shot from Ricky, and Galil working wonders, wreaking havoc. The round over on kills alone. All 5 stay alive for CLG. 9-9, we reach the gun rounds.
There we go. Pretty much the expected result after CLG take control over the pistol. And now it's time for Misfits to kick things into gear here. If not, it's going to be CLG that get into the driver's seat once again, and we'll be able to start shooting ahead towards 16 rounds to try and tie the series up at 1-1. But Misfits obviously have a pretty big investment coming into this round, including Shazam on the op because he full saved on both the previous rounds, so he was able to afford that buy. The rest of the team, though, it is the usual 4th round buy, somewhat limited utility, so they do downgrade Devo to an ump so that they can have at least an extra, Molly and HE grenade in the mix here. CLG, you're not going to waste any time, however. It looks like they're going right for the site execute.
Yeah, they're going to get there with good positioning. Sean can't do anything from the window. In fact, quick depart from FNS, as Ricky will find Sick. Devaduvek might have to just back off this early, especially with 1 player in A, 1 player well out toward long B, and then that's exactly the call. They would love to get the M4 from Sean's body, and I think Devo will do so. More importantly, due to the smoke, he certainly will. Sean died with the smoke on his belt, by the way, just to make note. It's oftentimes that we see players going down with utility. Tough to really quantify how relevant that is as a stat. You could argue, therefore, that it's underutilized, and going down with utility means you didn't use it correctly. But if you go down early on a straight contact play, how would you have known? Very true. Devaduvek swings out from behind the rock. Ethan's actually there to find him, take him down, and this means the lead is going to go the way of CLG. 10-9, and they do so with only losing 1 player. They're building quite a bank account, much like Misfits did in the first 9 rounds. Remember, this was 8-1 at a point. It's now 10-9 CLG.
Very much a reversal that we started to see happening on the first map, too, although things were a little bit closer there. Not necessarily, however, as at the end of the first half, it was 10-5. That's what Misfits managed to come back from and really crush CLG on. So now it's a bit of a reversal with CLG coming back at the beginning of the second half and looking to take the lead themselves. And Misfits on a round like this, again, just CZ's a single player buying armor, not expecting anything too amazing to happen. Their players are going to push fairly aggressively down A long, with CLG, well, they're not sending anyone there at all. So this is just going to be a waste of manpower as soon as they actually realize where they're sending their players towards. At best, they'd be able to kill Kusta, but that's pretty much going to be it.
Booster should be able to sort this. You may lose the AK, but that's not so bad. Although it strengthens Misfits by in the next round, they've got lots in the bank account on their side. I'm sure he'd love to farm up some kills. Devaduvek gonna be the ones up close. IKEA pistol with a quick switch. Why not? Although Devaduvek does get the kill. AK is grabbed and relatively free of charge. In doing so, they're going to make contact immediately with the expected stack toward long at B, and Sean was hoping to catch them off being the only one at B. Unfortunately, he gets taken down. Ethan will find Shazam, Devaduvek, and sick as well.
Good cleanup from Ethan. He has to go up against the AK if he decides to duel Amanek, and actually it's going to be Finesse that takes the bait there and will end up in the fight versus the French player. So he picks up one additional kill now with the AK in his hands, and it seems that Ethan's going to try to chase him down here. Gonna miss the Q on it though. Doesn't realize that he's already gone out to the other side of the playground. So he's gonna waltz in, spots the shadow, gets another pickup. So at least he's doing some good damage here. 2 kills for him, 1 from Devo. At least they're gonna make the round expensive for CLG when they buy into it again on the next round.
Amanek saved the AK that they grabbed early on. But CLG now extend the lead 11-9. Much more the position they would have liked to have found themselves in earlier in this game, naturally, but seemingly under control as a result of it, much more calm in their approach. The Black Abyss behind Ricky. I think he stands as the only Australian to make the playoffs of a plus $250,000 event still.
For the major? Or?
No, for any event above $250,000.
Oh.
He's the only Australian to do that, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he never did in Renegades. No one on Renegades has, no one on Immortals. Excuse me, Immunity has. Immunity obviously dissolved. Nades through from Monsters. FNS waits for his chance to attack. And Ethan will wait for the sound cues again on top of the railing and also watch off behind her to see if anyone wants to rotate down through the stairwell. Cutler also watching to see if the boost on the stairs will happen. This is going to be fast contact play. No smokes down, flashes over, 6 not blind. Needs to line up shots perfectly. He's already overwhelmed. In fact, that he's lost the angle and his back exposed. Sprays in, at least finds Ethan before going down, so something to work with for his teammates as they arrive. Devaduvek being the closest of which, flames burning in water. It makes perfect sense, but still, they are there, and they will, in fact, burn Devaduvek alive after Sean had fallen. Another lackluster defensive hold from Misfits, yet to win a round on the CT side. It's going to go 12 for CLG as Misfits back off, wanted to save the AWP on Shazam.
So the lead being established for CLG. Now in strong suit, Misfits need to focus on the long game here, need to focus on saving and keeping their gun power somewhat strong so they can at least deal damage to CLG in the following rounds here. So they've pulled back. Amanek will be sitting down below looking to save the AK. And a similar fate for Shazam. CLG waltz on with another very strong execute. They take control of another round. And it seems as though the issues from Cobblestone are echoing very much the same here on our second map for Overpass, with Misfits and CLG struggling on their CT sides. But at the moment, Misfits is seeming to struggle to a much larger degree as they failed to pick up a single round so far. It's been 6 rounds won by CLG. At the start of the previous half, Misfits only managed to win 5 rounds straight before we saw at least 1 round picked up from CLG there.
Ryu getting his chance for contribution. As another pause is called from Misfits. It's gone all downhill since 8-1. Keep in mind, a lot of the reason that they had the start that they did was they won pistol, they won first gun, they got a reset at the 5th round. So everything that they could have gone correct for them or gone well for them at the start of the match did. It put them in a position to be ahead by such an overwhelming amount. But they only won about 3 gun rounds and all of that and took chances in doing so with MAC-10s. The fact is, as soon as CLG was capable of shutting down the B take, or at least creating a retake that was viable through the post-plant position and construction and monster, that's when this game fell apart. So Misfits haven't had too much to work with. In fact, it's been rather one-dimensional, and so far their CT side has been rather zero-dimensional. It's non-existent. It is a lambda. It is a hiatus. What is the hiatus? Lambda of a hiatus. Can't measure the wavelength of nothing.
That's... You're getting into territory I don't understand. I know what a lambda is, but it's been...
Either.
Like, I know what it is.
You know what a hiatus is, right?
Not in, like, scientific terms.
I don't either. It just means the void. It's like nothing. So how do you measure the wavelength of nothing?
You can't.
That's the point. It's a paradox. Molotov thrown over from construction forces Sick out from behind the barrels as Ricky will try and find his way back in. So once more an execution, at least to deter and confuse Misfits in their positioning inside of the site.
Ethan strikes first, however, back over at A long. He's going to knock out Amanek. Again, Misfits' decision to bind this might end up paying off badly. The op's been quiet on this entire team for pretty much the whole map here. It needs to come alive. A missed shot from Shazam. Not what they need to open up this round. That will call for rotates, and I thought Shazam fell all the way back, so he's going to be able to actually repeat and catch Ethan running with a knife out. Sean similarly follows through with another pickup, and now Cutler executes into B. Gets some self-control over that site with a kill into Devo. Rotates will be on the way for the Misfits. It's an even fight now, down to a 3v3.
Sick needs to go.
Sick, let's see. He's going to sneak back up. Sean's helping him out here too. Sick will move back in, pick up the first kill. However, look at this. Kusta trying to sneak back into the pit. Gets the first kill, and Shazam will take him a second shot, and he'll lose another teammate as a result of it, but he does indeed get the kill on Kusta. And finally, after 6 or 7 rounds straight from CLG, we will see one put up onto the board here for the Misfits.
Yeah, better rotations, more aggressive stance that time to combat with the utility that was used. They didn't give them the ramp access quite so easily. And obviously Sick timed that quite well. I thought he was going to be a little bit late. He could have potentially denied the plant as well, but that at this point doesn't matter. That they need to pick up rounds on the CT side. And if it means being slightly conservative in doing so, all fine, because he wraps around, in fact, bypassed the planter and went for the post-plant position to take out, as it were, FNS turning his back toward the site. So Misfits finally get around to the board. They're 10th overall. Still 2 back on that of CLG. They've achieved 6 straight before this, what would be a reset. Shazam, as a result, stays on the AWP, but can't quite get to the party. And the amount of smokes early from CLG, they're playing this as strictly off map control. That's what they want. They want Misfits inside of the site, tucked into corners in which they can't really afford to do much more than play for trades and then win it with utility on the front of flashes by forcing them off angles and then overwhelming them. So that's worked already toward bathrooms.
They're doing a great job of denying them of utility. Not the best job of wasting their, or excuse me, denying them of information, but they're not doing a great job of wasting their utility. As Misfits still have quite a bit to utilize here. 3 mollies. I think most of them are in the B site too, along with an additional smoke that can be used. I think that just got tossed out now, so mollies are going to be thrown out from both sides, this including outside of Monster. They go past it, 6 able to react in time to get 1 kill, but afterwards will be traded by Ricky. Cutler finds another one as they did not molly out sidewalk. Devo at the moment holding from within side of pit, but it's not going to be long before he's overwhelmed. He needs some help, and that's going to come in the form of Amanek. Finesse moves back in, will get 1 kill, but Shazam also there to trade, leaving everything in the hands of Kusta in a 1v2. Did spot that player on the cross, but can't immediately get the kill. He's got to play this slowly.
Has to play this slowly. Again, CLG want to play for trades as they walk in 2 through the Molotov, especially inside of Monster. But finally, the trades are sufficient and rotations are quick. Devo Duvek does well to stay alive, just slightly longer and fractionally longer than he has inside of the pit previously. So Kusta's going to try and bait this out. 23 seconds to play with. Smoke still down. AWP hasn't elected to swatch it off to a rifle just yet. No need to overreact. Second one will usually be convincing. And in they go! Missed shot toward Kusta. Shazam's able to get the response. We're back to within 1.
Yep, and with that, Misfits will be right on the cusp of tying things back up again. They've been nowhere close, or gotten nowhere close to breaking CLG, though. This has become a very, very similar situation to what we were having happen back on Cobblestone here, where they have to spend eons trying to break the T-side economy, and that will very much be the case. You can see the money left over, and this is after everyone except for Kusta has bought. There's still probably a good 1, maybe even a second investment still to come from CLG before they're forced onto an eco. Misfits would have to take the lead and push ahead before they get any free rounds built up for themselves.
Ricky again will lurk outside of Monster. The fact that Misfits haven't been able to get aggressive and find map control toward construction, or even for that matter at bathrooms at all, they're being forced so far back by CLG. Means they don't have information on setups such as that, as Ricky lurking outside of Monster pretty much every single round. They can't flash over, go for kills. They can't get the early picks toward long bathroom. They're giving so much of the map to CLG that they can really dictate the pace of the game. And they've done so. More importantly, this time they have bled the utility sufficiently as well. 1 smoke, 2 Molotovs, that's all that remains on the CT side. Look at the wealth of smokes and flashes, shall we say, on CLG's side as opposed to that blue.
Mollies as well.
You didn't wear red today.
What's up?
You didn't wear red. Finesse is just
Oh,
takes some
okay.
red down. You were supposed to. Sean Gares has to swing out on top of the ramp. Ethan takes out Sean. I did intentionally throw you off there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, CLG, though, will get those kills, and with that, they've all but secured this round, bringing it down to a 4v2. The last hope is going to be Almanac here inside of the pit. There's a good flash, though, and he denies the plant. Sneaks in that kill. No room for a trade just yet. And Shazam is also going to sneak forward here. Another attempt to make the plant. They don't have him covered very well, however, so he jumps off of that, cancels it before he fully commits. And now Almanac's going to be in a bit of an awkward spot. They hear that spam. They can't figure out where it's coming from, though. Shazam will creep forward over here to the barrels.
This is risky.
Trying to check inside. He's got to be careful to check that left side. Misses the no-scope attempt, so FNS will take him down, leaving only Almanac alive. Spots FNS, who's going to try to spam him down. In the meantime, though, the other two players that escaped into construction have now fallen back and are wrapping up to the A site. Almanac will get that kill, but he's going to come to the realization that he's been outwitted in a moment and have to rush to the other site.
You almost think that he might have rotated the same way the bomb did that time, in hopes that he would get there just as the bomb was going down and have a line of sight toward the default position. But the smoke off Cutler, he's inside of the bathrooms, pretty straightforward, and Almanac's going to go save.
Yeah, he does not have the utility to retake, especially from this position too, which is hard enough as is, even in like a 2v2. In this situation, it's nigh impossible, so he'll give up on it. I think he trades out to an op at least, so we'll carry that back and save it, but the round will be CLG's once again, so they maintain, they reset the losing bonus for Misfits, possibly more importantly here. Put them up to 13 rounds.
Round CLG trying to force out map 3. Misfits, remember, this morning had a similar situation as they won map 1 rather convincingly. But then they had to grind map 2 and arguably lost the 2-0 chance. Similarly here, they were up 8-1. They now find themselves 2 behind on 11 rounds. And then it's map 3 to decide who's the first of our America's minor teams to qualify for the qualifier. I know. Isn't that weird?
A little bit. Just a mouthful more than anything. But Misfits are going to end up deciding to force into this round, which means the buy that you can see on the right side now. 3 CZs and and the op, obviously, they got saved for Shazam, but that's really the only big gun they have. Besides that, it's pretty pitiful weaponry. And they're going to have to hope that they can upset early on and get some kills. CLG know that they're probably going to get hyper-aggressive here, so they've decided to move in. They take playground control, but besides that, they're not really going to do much here.
First time they've gone into construction. Pretty much all game, first time Misfits has had a chance to do so without being punished, without being forced back early. But as you say, patience from CLG. They'll leave the playground and head toward the bathrooms. At least they didn't pee in the sandbox. They're going to be polite about it. Smoke off in the front of the bathrooms, and Shazam does catch Cutler toward mid-stairs. That's a perfect start for Misfits, and the fact that the AWP is that of only 2 guns aside from pistols. The second one's rather forward stance with some coverage behind him as well, and it's Demo 2
Surprise.
Spot up. MX there as well. Perfect set, perfect crossfire. First time they've had the construction position, and CLG were not at all ready for it. We'll see if Ricky can pull it back as he walks in. 6 still behind the smoke. FNS wants to trade at the very least, but that's desperate to play forward. 5-7, take that back, excuse me, a CZ as the reload's gone into the handle. It's the magical transforming gun.
Yeah. Does do decent damage at least, though. Brings FNS down to 34 HP, so if Devo peeks it at the right time, might be able to finish him off. In fact, oh no, they don't think that anyone here. Thankfully, Devo doesn't peek it in time, so they'll still be able to escape, but they're going to instantly realize that there is no presence here, and probably realize that they rotated up too. Almanac will notice this. Oh, Shazam gets flashed, and it's got to be a little bit careful, but still sinks the shot, knocks out Ricky. Sees the third player, the final player, I should say, going past him. Will get traded, but Sean's there to make sure that the trade also bounces right back into the favor of Misfits. They keep it at a 1-round disadvantage, but now they need to make sure they don't get reset again here. That was their problem before. CLG obviously still have plenty of cash, so they're going to come back in with a full buy.
Interesting to see if Sean could have waited to get that kill. There was only 2 seconds on the clock. But Misfits certainly buy themselves a chance. Shazam naturally will stay on the AWP. Was picked up, carried over, recovered. Sean will go aggressive with the M4 toward Monster. Early utility usage as he yesterday was religiously throwing the A-side smoke that lands, bounces off the train rail, and bounces back in. This time he's actually getting there first. Gives it a longer duration by which you have someone on the inside of it, but it also means he's not playing the A-side. They're stacking up B.
Devo is stepping into a Molotov for way longer than he needs to as well, so he's going to end up down at 24 HP. Sick gets hit for about 20 as well, so not the greatest start for the Misfits, and considering they get pushed back on the B side. Oh, and they get caught boosting too, so that's going to go away now. A little bit of damage getting traded back onto the members of CLG, but it's very insignificant. That's a pretty good nade, though. It's going to peg them down for about 20 to 30 damage each for those that got hit by it. And now they move back in. They're a little bit hesitant on taking control, but Devo peeks out for super long, so Ethan is going to be able to punish him here. Ethan, though, not paying attention to the toxic barrels. Sean moves in, gets the double. FNS is going to have to try to sneak back up here, look for the trade upon it. Will move him, and no! Denied again by Sean as he gets another kill, leaving everything into Kusta. And he's not even on this site right now. He's going to flank from the other side. No way he's stopping this defuse, and even denied by Shazam as he's heard going up the steps.
Such a good job by Sean. I honestly thought Ethan had that covered.
I thought so too, yeah.
Thank you, Sean. I thought that absolutely when he looked into that smoke, he was just going to hold the angle, because I don't understand why he looks back to the left in the first place, because the smoke's there. He can't see through it. Until he's inside of it and about to walk the other side, there's no need to change his aim. I'm a bit surprised that Sean found him, took his teammate who was there for expected to be covered. And the third kill was a bit of luck in that he actually, the guy who was peeking around, I can't remember who it was at this point, stood up into a pre-fire. So Sean gets 3 kills that takes back the site. Devo as well. I mean, as soon as they saw the boost and the fact that he was on 24, if you're boosting that far back, there's no one in the front of the site. You get 2 players committed to a boost, you might have 1 person in the pit in water that's going to come up the ramp, maybe, and that is all. So they tried to take as much map control as they could and rush in, but a bit sloppy. I mean, afterward, FNS is limited to just a CZ75. Misfits win this, it's going to be play for overtime because they'll lose 14 and then potentially 15. Excuse me, CLG lose this, rather.
Yeah.
Although that said, it's the same in reverse. I mean, this round is essentially 4 map point.
Misfits bought a little bit of money, so their rebuy in the next round wouldn't be absolutely terrible if they tried to go for it. They could probably actually be together like 3 full M4 buys at least. But for the other 2, it's probably going to be umps or soft CZs. However, they've already shown that they can still win rounds with very uneven buys. So they would have to look to do it again if they drop this round here. CLG are going to play slowly once more. Hear them trying to play around with the paneling here. There's 2 players that come spraying back, so that's going to give a little bit of intel over to Misfits. Nothing significant. CLG have been toying with water. Oh. Toying with water for a large portion of this half, and I just realized how much damage he took from the spam. I just realized he's down at 35 HP now, so CLG will be able to move in and execute. Kusta gets a very quick first kill. 1 trade found from Sean. Almanac trying to spam back too, but he's out in the open there at Heaven. He's going to go down. Only 2 remaining from the CT side here. Now Sean getting hit again. Can't even figure out where the shots are coming from. Everything's left to Shazam. He's stuck in a 1v3. No right to initiate here either on this site, but he is stuck in it, so he might as well make an attempt. Oh, and he had the angle too onto a player falling back towards Monster, but missed the shot.
Gosh, just to get himself away at this point in time, but a good win from CLG, an important one as well, having given up the last, and as we said, the money is so tight on either side. Shazam at least saves the AWP for now. I think that'll be for good, in the fact that no one is rotating around. But CLG has a really solid chance of finding the 15th round. Kusta just goes all the way back to spawn. Wants to keep his AK. A little bit of salt. Retake necessary. Again, the smokes isolate mid-site. And Misfits not able to get forward enough of them. It's Monster that's been their biggest problem, by far.
Easily. Every time they try to aggress it, it's spelled a disaster, and even when they play passively on it, they're usually not ready when executes come boiling out of it, so
SMG's brought up for Sean. Devo's got the silenced M4. Been using that all game. Just to make note, I still think it needs a bit of a buff. It's kind of fallen out of favor. Silence perk I don't think is enough in itself. Whereas the smoke tracers, you can't really spray justifiably anyway because you only have 20 bullets, so the 1 perk it has doesn't really do anything for me.
CLG changing up the game plan a little bit this time. They've kind of beaten Misfits into a sense of security down there on the B site. And they're going to be playing 3 down there for most of the rest of this half. Shazam, however, certainly would have heard some of these flashbangs and whatnot. Hasn't been able to see just the raw amount of players that are going to be pushing towards A, so they'll need to call for reinforcements pretty quickly. They've already moved Almanac up from Heaven, I believe. He's going to be contributing to the defense while watching long. Be ready a little bit quicker, though. This has been the problem Misfits often find their players out of position when the actual executes move back in, and for some reason, we're starting to see them fall back and rotate down to B now. I'm not sure if there was a smoke or something thrown down there. It doesn't look like it. It's still wide open as far as I can see.
There's not sufficient evidence. They're even playing a boost on B. They're so passive. Now Almanac does at least get FNS down relatively unscathed as well. Finally tagged to 39, but he can swing back out. Flashes over Sean Gears. Gets the kill on Ethan. So the fact that they were leading off this, I thought they were going to be a real problem. Again, so passive on Misfits. They're struggling from lack of information on this CT side, and yet this time, with a stroke of luck on the timing, they managed to put themselves in the right spots, and they'll find the 14th round, and doing so tying things back up with CLG. And, ooh, money is hit hard. No bomb plant. Bomb plant would have put them in a forced buy situation. Now it's actually almost to the point where I think they need to, yeah.
They're going to pause to talk about it.
Timeout to talk about it. I would say the immediate decision that I would make, but what do I know?
The
would
thing
be to save and play for overtime, because you still have the momentum on your side, in my opinion. You've had the better half, the better teamwork.
The thing is, though, is that both these teams have been really good at upsetting on force buys.
So, I mean, every team is in CSGO, but you're right.
Yeah.
Not to take away from your point.
Specifically in this match, right? Like the past, how many rounds is this now? Like 5 or 6? So the past, like 8 rounds almost, has been just going back and forth like crazy. A little bit more dominant for the Misfits as they've been slowly battling their way back into the lead here, just getting the advantage closer and closer, but overall, it's been relatively back and forth. However, CLG have still been able to upset on multiple rounds where they've had a less than optimal buy, so they're going to be able to use that to justify a force buy on this run, and it does look like they decide to go for it, and it's not that great. It's a single Galil on Cutler, and besides that, everyone has pistols.
Tuvek sit on the mound, trying to spot cross toward Monster, but again, this is such a passive hold to Monster that's sick. Let's to go aggressive, spraying into a smoke this time rather desperately. It's a 3-man split to lower underpass and try and divide the defense, or at least ascertain exactly where Misfits wish to play from.
That's the thing, is now they don't know where CLG is going to go on this round, since they've been changing up their hit a little bit in these last couple rounds. Before, it was usually some kind of a B execute, but after the last round, it could be either site. So Misfits are going to be a little bit fidgety, I imagine. Respond pretty aggressively to flashbangs. However, Shazam should have seen this now, so he'll call for rotates. He'll let him in the open, though, while still blind, and that's going to lead to the quick trade. Ethan takes him down. The bank player can't do anything. He's been mollied back out. Almanac, however, he actually can push up to the molly again. Gets a first kill. Ricky with a nice little headshot knocks him out, and he gets a second one, too. But now he's alone, stuck in a 1v2, and he doesn't realize it yet, but he's going to be pincered here. But he's also upgraded to an AK.
Yep, he can fight, and he needs to. He knows that he's going to be pincered at this point in time based on timing, so he's already gone down the stairs just to cut off all those angles. Cage the rat.
Will continue to slowly looking for that angle to fight against Devo, and he wins it, which is now going to bring Sick back to the site. Now Ricky has to figure out where Sick positioned from. Did he go for the flank, or did he rotate down from B? Sick's going to take up a very nice position here. However, gets aggressive, peeks into it, and that's going to give the win to Ricky. They successfully win the force, and Ricky comes out with a massive 1v2 on top of the 2 trade kills that he already got earlier in the round with the Deagle. Massive, heroic effort from Ricky might have just saved CLG and given them control over the second map.
He's not had the most solid game either. 16 kills overall. He's at the bottom, but man, oh man. 4 kills in that round. 2 of them on the Deagle on the trades, like you say, and then plays it very well. And great aggression to cut off Misfits, and it gives them overtime point. It forces the money out of Misfits' hands. He may have individually just saved this series. What a time to do it. Stays calm.
Nope.
Maybe not. little nerves in the arm because he can't quite get the Molotov thrown correctly.
It's all good. It's all good. Not drastic times just yet. We have to see how this site execute goes. Thankfully for CLG, though, Misfits have been reduced to a pretty poor buy here that you can see. They got decent utility, but a lot of it's already going to be used in the early round. We can see plenty of smokes used right at the beginning as soon as they get to that B site to prevent a rush. It's been a favorite of CLG's. They're going to reapply those now.
FNS is the monster tunnel covered off on the CLG side. Misfits desperate to hold on and force overtime. They had the lead 8-1, they lost the lead, and they pulled things back and tied twice, 14-14. And now CLG, 1 round away from map 3, which is Mirage. Kusta wants contact, but he's so low on A, and in providing the contact with less weaponry on Misfits' side, he's hoping to cause a little bit of pandemonium in the fact that they'll over-rotate based on a lack of confidence. trying to be proactive instead. They've already made contact on Beto. They're already in. Good find, Amanek. On the UMP, swings out, a chance to get more. He's done massive damage, but the kills are not adding up. In fact, they're being subtracted away quite quickly, so two of the chances. Although Shazam does get an angle, overcommits, and Ethan's able to get the kill. It's on to Sean Gears, 1 versus 3 with a CZ. Make that UMP, but versus that of 3 AKs, and Ricky fittingly finds the last kill. What a saving grace it was for him to find the last round. 16-14, CLG will force map 3.
And with that, they take it 16-14, so that ties our series up at 1-1. Congratulations to CLG. You can see the relief on Ryu's face there, primarily due to the heroic effort of Ricky on the 29th round. A massive clutch in the 1v2, along with those 2 kills before that, so 4 Ks on that round, and pretty much single-handedly gives them the easy closeout on the 30th round that they needed to win map number 2. And we can see as well here. Misfits trying to figure out exactly what happened, why they lost that map, and how they now have to fix that going over to Mirage again for the 3rd and final map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that you come down, you go 8-1 up. Again, due to a lot of good calls with economy, but lose pretty much everything after that. Lost the round, lost 6 straight to start off the second half, and CLG were forcing Misfits into such a passive position that they had no information as to what was going on outside of the sites. You saw it. I mean, even the rounds they did win when they got the kills out toward long, Amanek Shazam peeking was a round where we thought they were going to over-rotate. And they were actually so far back on the stairs with a boosted B, no information under the access of either site. So, look, super close. Ricky pulls it off. Brilliance in with 4 kills, and obviously 2 of them on the Deagle on trades. But with that said, we do have a map 3 as a result of it, and we'll take a short break and come back to decide who our team to the grand finals will be and who our first team out of the North American Minor, or the American Minor, although it is North American teams left, will qualify for qualifier.